Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another one of my Ascension messages. My name is Bobby Richardson, and I'll be your guide for today. Today, we're going to channel, and before we do, and we talk about how crazy this world is turning and why that's happening. That was the title they said to title it, so we'll see what comes up with that. But before that, just to let you know, I am onto my fourth module of my spiritual master classes, which is all to do with teaching you guys how to channel and even have telepathy. And what's the difference and everything like that. But we've got 4 modules now, and I'm saying we because it's my team and I. There's a lot of channeling going through it as well. So it's literally you having a classroom with high benevolent beings as well as myself. But there's a lot of my stories that come into it just to get you into the frequency before we start the lessons and that. So it's kind of a fun thing to, listen to somebody's stories and what they've really gone through, as well as, and that's how they trained me, as well as the exercises, channel messages on how it can help you and so forth. And this is all to do with the new earth and expanding our consciousness into a greater awareness so that we can actually communicate via, channeling energy with many, many more diverse life forms, including those that are on earth. And that will ground us into this new frequency where we take back our power of the universal language. And that means we can connect to our benevolent beings, our souls. Everything starts to change because we have a whole other perspective on life. So, yeah, it has to come from a clear mind. So the first module is all about clarity of mind. And I'm going to make that a free class. So then we've got 3 others after that. And they will, I will have to charge for those ones. There's just so much work going into them. And also I need to be able to support myself. So that's the whole idea of that is like a win-win situation. I get to support myself and you guys get to learn what I've learned, plus get new teachings from my guides as well. So I'm really excited to be able to share those with you. And also, just to let you know, I'm an intuitive counselor, so you can book me one-on-one, but I do free quick chat bar readings and stuff like that at the end of my Ascension messages if there's time. Also on Thursday, I do big questions with tarot. So if you're interested in that, if you're on the other side of the world, then it will probably be the day after, because Australia gets the day first. So, hey, Cherie, good to see you. Please remember, I always forget to say this, please remember to like and subscribe if you're a newcomer. I would love to have you as part of our team. We've got quite a beautiful team starting to pull together here. But yeah, any case, let's get into these messages that they were pulling through. So I've got a couple of things that are written down on my phone and what they were talking about, but I also want to go into that in greater detail. So as we all know, what happened over in Dubai with the floods and all of that sort of stuff that's happening over there, and that they were cloud seeding, and they were saying that it wasn't due to the cloud seeding, but they were cloud seeding. That was absolute because they put an advert up saying that they were doing that. But they're now flooded. They now got all these extreme weather patterns happening, and this is what will go on when we start to, as we progress into a more and more higher love frequency coming through, because love is just a balanced energy of knowing how to create via what we passionately want, what our authentic self wants. So if we're trying to control something outside of us and not coming from love, then and we're coming from, we need to control that so that I feel love. That's different, rather than I love who I am and I am moving through my life with that love vibration. Then If you then did something outside, did something as an action, and it's coming from that authentic love, then there will be no repercussions. But when you're coming from, oh my God, I'm so afraid that all of this is going to happen, and I'm going to have to control all of this outside here so that I feel safe. When you're coming from that lack, and then you try to control something, then it's going to be a backlash, because you're not in the frequency that's more conducive at the moment, where in the past you could have got away with it because the frequency wasn't such a high love frequency. And also our manifestation skills in the past had a lot longer to wait because of that low density and not so connected to source energy, not as in a higher love frequency. We were kind of in this sort of stagnated field. And so when that stagnated field happened, when we try to manifest something outside of us, and this is in the past, it took this longer time. And so you had this kind of in-between stage of being able to manipulate and wield and disguise and cheat, and all of that sort of stuff could come into play. But as we're moving into these higher love frequencies, it's just going to be this direct mirror. So whatever happens, happens. And it's so interesting because they actually have this mirror in the dates at the moment through April. So I'm bringing that up. But I'm going to just read out what I wrote. So they said this is not just a flood. This is a sign of things to come unless you awaken, as justice is being served all over the world. As we rebalance ourselves, that mirror will be reflected. Hey, all those in the chat bar, Vanda and Jane, good to see you. So I'm just going to show you these dates that I just got shown this morning. And this is the first thing that came up on my Facebook. I think it was this morning or last night. It might have been last night, actually. But it was one of the first things that how you just flip onto Facebook and there it is. I'm like, okay, that is such a sign, and it goes completely with what my messages were given to me by my guides anyway. So April, it says palindrome. I don't know what that means. Dates, but it's dates that each date reads the same backwards and forwards for 10 days straight. So that's interesting, right? Here we are. My guides are telling me that the mirror has been reflected straight up. And that's because of that higher love frequency. And then in the mirror, in our dates, is the mirror. It's so interesting how this all kind of happens. I'll read what else they said. As you awaken, you realize the truth that you were programmed to fit into a world shown to you. But the truth is, energetically and materialistically, the world adapts to us. Therefore, when you know what you want, you will bypass all that didn't align, and instead of trying to fit in, even if it feels uncomfortable. So the program was sent to us to make us feel like we had to fit into that outside world. And when we did that, because this person said this and this person said you have to do it this way, and so we did that. We went into jobs we didn't like. We did things we didn't want to do. We said things we didn't even want to say. We became partners with people that we weren't really sure about, because we never thought within ourselves we'd ever be able to find a perfect match for us anyway. So we were told, just put up with. And so because of that, we ended up just being in this kind of program of uncomfortableness where our feelings didn't matter. So now that we are learning to take our feelings back, and then when we start to approach our outside world, we can see through the veil of what doesn't match our frequency. Now, everyone's frequency is a little bit different. It just comes from love and authenticness, but it's a little bit different, so that we're not all going in for the same person, or we're not going in for the same job, because we want to have diversity around the world. That's how we're created. That's so that we can expand and we can learn from each other as well. And so when we actually come to our authentic self and we really know who thy self is, in these new frequencies at the moment, we will go no to that person, because you can feel it, and there doesn't have to be a reason. So if you're on a dating site, instead of going, oh, I better take that person because they've ticked these boxes, but they kind of feel a bit wrong, but okay, I'll deal with it. Now it's just like, okay, no, the feeling's wrong, okay, they seem to have ticked all the boxes, but the feeling's wrong. Just keep moving through that, because you want to align your feelings with another person as well, so that you feel conducive within yourself of being able to grow, being able to evolve with that person, and also feel safe with that person, and that sort of thing. The same goes for all your jobs that you go for and you apply for jobs and that sort of thing as well. Now, the reason why they're bringing that up is because of that mirror reflection. So the reason why it's going crazy around the world, let's bring it back to the title, eh? The reason why it's going crazy around the world at the moment is because there's still a lot of people that are seeking what they really, truly want outside themselves and not really going within and how they truly feel. So we have people in positions that are only there because they feel someone else thinks they're worthy, or they're thinking, oh, their father will be proud of them, or somebody else, the people that they're controlling, they have it over them and all that sort of thing. But deep down inside, they're feeling this lack. There's something missing. It's not quite right. Where am I supposed to go? But I'm going to stay here and I'm going to hang on to it tooth and nail, because otherwise I might look foolish in front of other people if I do what I truly want to do, which might be like getting on a little dinghy boat and going out into a lake and fishing, and so they keep on pushing to control the outside world, pushing to control other people. So that's why it's going crazy, because these people are misaligned around the world, and it's showing up bigger and bigger and bigger for everybody now. That misalignment is just like showing up hugely. And so now, because we're starting to see through the veil of the misalignment, we will also see those that are still stuck in it going through trauma, and they'll keep on going through trauma on the other side of the world and all sorts of things. So really the most important thing here is to come back to one's authentic self during these higher love frequencies, so that you can choose the right path for you. And it's all through not only how your logical mind is, but also how your intuitive mind feels. So we've got to collectively come together within us and understand, this feels like a right fit for me. This job feels like a right fit. This is what I feel like doing at the moment. This excites me. This is a passion of mine. I've always wanted to do this. When we start to move towards those goals, we're going to be changing our reality up, and we will start to see other people in these higher love frequencies doing the same. And so the world will start to shift out of the paradigm of being stuck in something that was really squeezing us into a limited space, and into a beautiful new earth scenario where we're all aligned again. They're bringing me to when I was a young kid, and my mum, my beautiful aunt, who was quite spiritual, I have to admit, and I think she's one of my guides. She came around with one of those tiered cake plates, and it had all these beautiful cakes on it, and she offered me the first one. Now, I was just a little kid, and I really thought, I'm here to people please everybody else. And so to me, it was like, wow, she's offering me in front of all the adults the first cake, and all the other kids. And I chose the cake that I thought other people wouldn't want, because I didn't want it. And so I ate it and went, I really wanted that creamed horn, but I'm not going to take it because I'll leave it for somebody else, that sort of scenario. And then when at the end of the day, when I went up to the plate, that creamed horn was still there. And then I started realizing, hang on a sec. And it's taken me a while, to stop people pleasing and do what I need, because there's a match in your reality for you always. And when you decide that's the one I'm going to take, then you align yourself with the right partner, with the right job. And you might have like a journey to get there at the moment. You might be the same amount of people coming at you. Say if you went on a dating site or something, there's all these people coming at you, or you went into a big crowd and people really like you or whatever. They keep coming at you, and but before you might have taken the second one just in case nobody else came along. But this time you're like, no, I know thyself. I know my feelings, and I'm going to move towards this in a different way. I'm going to say no to that, no to that, no to that, until it feels like a right fit. Then we're all sitting in the right place. So the world is looking crazy at the moment because there are those that are still seeking their outside world to show them how powerful they are, how much they have to what they can actually do around the world. So on the other side of the world, here we have Dubai with all of the floods and everything. They were trying to control, manipulate the weather patterns so that they could create the reality that they wanted on that patch of earth. But that patch of earth, maybe earth has another reason for that to be that, but they weren't in alignment with the feeling of what earth wanted. They were just coming from, I'm going to show the world what I can do. And so they kept pushing it and pushing it and pushing it. Earth might have put up with this and that and this, but then when it comes to a certain manipulation that they were doing, she would turn around and go, backlash. Okay, this is enough. There will come a tipping point where it doesn't match that higher frequency that Earth is conduciently wanting to create with humanity's consciousness. And so when that tipping point happens, a backlash will come and slap them in the face. Now, do we, you could see wars and all sorts of things that are happening around the world and all this disharmony happening around the world. Do you want to be entangled in it? Do you want to actually have your energy infused in it and say, look at all of that? If you keep doing that, then you're actually giving more energy to those people and saying, yeah, your reality is enough as a reality that needs more focus. So we want to focus in more on it to make it become bigger. When you come in alignment with your true authentic self and going on the higher vibrations, which is matching the fifth dimension, then you'll see it as an observer point of view, and you'll see that those people are entangled in that problem because of their own energetic disalignment, like they're not aligned with themselves. And so they have to go through the process just like you did in the past when you started doing the shadow work. And if you leave them alone, they're bringing me to there was a moment in time where I was giving a lot for a friend of mine, and she needed help. She needed a place to live. She had 2 young babies. They had all this time to get a new flat, but they didn't get one, and they didn't put the effort in to get one. And then they were they were homeless. And so she asked if she could live with me. And I was giving her literally the shirt off my back and buying groceries for everybody. And then she came up to me and said, I've got some money. Do you want an ice cream? And I'm sitting there thinking, man, I'm trying to buy potatoes for the whole family, 2 families here. Any case, I woke up and I saw myself bending over backwards. You know how I don't know if you know me enough to know, but I actually saw a lot of things. Like I got visual visions when I woke up, which was my team or my higher self showing me or telling me, there's something that needs your attention. So I woke up and saw myself bending over backwards next to me. And I'm like, and this looks real to me. It's not something that's in my head. I literally saw my daughter before she was born and everything. And then when she was born, she looked just like she did when she was standing beside my bed, and I was still pregnant with her. Any case, that aside, this was teaching me that I was bending over backwards for somebody else that was outside of me. And I was giving her all this attention and fueling her reality. So my attention was going into making her reality of grasping and needing and all of that icky energy. It was creating that even more so. So when we when we go into these higher frequencies and we see something that's happening on the other side of the world or near us even, but not in our reality, if it's in your reality, there's a difference. You can't, I'll talk about that in a minute. But if it's on the other side of the world, then, or something like that, you don't want to keep on pointing and poking your energy into it. You're literally fueling it. You want to go, okay, I see that for what it is. Those people over there are going through a shadow work of themselves. That's going to wake up some of them, and some of them might not, but it's up to them and their soul and their growth and all of that. That's what's happening over there. Over here now, because I'm not giving all my attention to that, what do I really want to create? And there's a space within your world of showing the others that you can actually create something that's beautiful on this planet. You can actually create, like, say, for instance, a share zone in your neighborhood, or growing fruit on the front of your lawn or something like that, so everybody can just pick it. Like we're like slowly moving into this, being pushed out of the controlled sector, and that would be in alignment with you uniting with more, or expanding your world with more, like those things will end up getting more, as we start to put more effort and more focus into it, we'll end up getting more support. So we end up creating, by not giving those things attention that are those people that are going through the shadow work, let them go. I had to let my friend go. I had to just turn around and say, I can't do this anymore. You have to go and you have to sort it out yourself, because it was just, I was literally giving all my attention into her and fueling her horrible story of needing and grasping and that sort of thing, and using other people. So that's why it seems like there's a lot going crazy, because we've actually uplifted our energy into a higher frequency, and then things are going to backlash very quickly, like the mirror that I showed you on those dates that I showed you. It's not that those dates are the only dates that's going to have this happen, where we're going to have this direct mirror happening, like those dates. We are actually going to, that's like the pinpoint of, we're shifting ourselves into another dimension. We're shifting ourselves into a higher frequency. And so everything that we think and feel is going to be reflected quicker, because we're in a faster vibrational meet to that reflection. So there's no delay anymore. And then the manipulation cannot happen, because the manipulation and the deceitfulness and all that happened when there was a longer delay, when we were out of balance and stuck in that denser reality. So yeah, they're really starting to come through now, as in just this understand. They want us to understand. My team wants us to understand a bit more than just seeing it happen, and really feeling into how you feel and what you really want to create. It's a big deal at the moment. To come back to your authentic self, you will automatically make new choices to support who you are when you start to clear away that whole, I have to fix the world, or when you clear away the whole not alignment with what you truly desire, and so forth. Hey, everybody in the chat, but oh my gosh, auto delete. Hey, Campbell. Always get that name. Dyslexia. I can't help it. Hey, Sky. Hey, Yannicka. Hey, Celtic. Good to see you guys. Jane and everybody else in my chat bar. Okay, so we will start to see these, it's kind of like an unraveling of the old world happening, and this backlash. Even those that are playing around with, and I know my team's brought this up a couple of times before, but they want to bring it up again, the CERN hydrochlidin and all of that, when people are playing around with those sort of opening up portals with using some massive friggin' thing that's spinning fast and they will find themselves reflected in the same story, or even worse, if they step in through a portal, try to manipulate something, because everything is coming from the central point of self. So when you haven't cleared yourself and you step through a portal, it doesn't matter actually what portal it is. It doesn't matter even if it's natural. That's why they say to be able to enter the pineal gland, which is the portal within the central brain of yourself, we have to have that clear mind. What they keep showing me, the feather is light as the heart. Like the heart is light as the feather. Sorry, I'm just seeing this feather in this heart. And then. And when we enter into the pineal gland, that's why we weren't allowed to go into that entrance, because if we were coming from this disalignment within our two hemispheres of our brain, where our logic, our outside world, and our inner world wasn't in collaboration and meet to find our authentic self, then to enter that pineal gland, we would just be shut down straight away, because we're coming from the warring zone. That was how the principal people protected humanity from meddling many different dimensions. But now that we're starting to clear away ourselves and come into balance, we'll find that portal within our own self, within the pineal gland. And that comes along with the somatic patterns and everything that is shifting and changing within the pineal gland to match the frequency of that you want to see on your outside world. So that there's all this shifting and changing of the storylines. The storylines are all changing up. So the story coming into humanity's consciousness, it seems like it's going a little chaotic, because there's still some people stuck in that I'm only seeking outside myself to seek validation. I don't care about my feelings or what, so long as everyone else thinks I look good, that's enough for me. And so they're in one sector. And then there's those that are doing the shadow work. So they're in transit at the moment of understanding that the shadow work is trying to show them where they're going imbalanced. And so they keep having people or things coming at them that are not so conducive. In other words, they'll be stuck in places where it's flooding and having earthquakes and volcanic eruptions and stuff like that, or they'll have people coming at them that are angry and that sort of thing, until they realize, oh my gosh, I'm the one that's expecting this, and so it is happening, or I'm the one that's trying to force something to happen. And I really, in the feeling of myself, I'm like, they might show up as somebody that's got it all together, but in deep down, they're really afraid, they're really scared. And that's why they're trying to control the outside world. So the outside world ends up showing them where they're trying to control, and not what they're trying to go inwards and feel their empowerment from the inside out. So they're in the transit going through the shadow work. Then there's the light workers, and those that held codes, the witches, the wizards, the whatever, life after life, those that come from Atlantis, who are stepping into this new frequency of love. And we're on a pivotal point now of just about jumping off the proverbial edge of this cliff into this vortex of where am I going to land? So we have to now navigate our reality, not by the outside world, because that's all coming unstuck, but by our inner self, core self belief of who we are and what we actually want to create on this planet. So when we leap off that proverbial cliff, we're going into just a love vibration of knowing that we are going to create something new. So there's these three dynamics of sets of dimensions that are actually happening on Earth through humanity's consciousness. There's more than that, and there's those that are in between and so forth. Then there's the higher ones that are already in the higher frequencies. They will already be surrounded with the gifts. They will be in a place where it's conducive, where they have a lot of people around them that are just loving who they are and accepting them for who they are. And even if they are really different or wacky or whatever, they just feel this beautiful love from the people around them. It's not to say that they can't step out of that and somebody come at them, but they don't have any reaction anymore. There's no it's kind of like if somebody cut them off in a road or something like that. um, then there's no resistance whatsoever. And their no resistance, actually, the energy to that person that cut them off will actually boomerang back, like mirror back to that person. And that person will go, oh, I shouldn't have done that, because they know that they've cut somebody off that didn't have any resistance anymore. So the people that are in the higher frequencies have very less resistance. And so they are able to be able to create the reality that they want, and their reality is expansive. It becomes expansive into the choices that they desire. It's coming from the heart. So yeah, so it does depend on what level you're looking at the world from, but there's a majority of us that are sitting in this shadow work, coming up to that transition time, where we're trying to figure out exactly what we really want to create. And they are going to see crazy stuff happening around the world. Now, there's still an opportunity there where they might lose themselves. And so they end up pointing the finger at that thing, and then they'll feel really awful. The other thing that's happening with those people that are in the transition stage, or shadow work and transition stage, is that they're going to, when they go into the logical mind only, in other words, oh my God, my world is crumbling. I don't know what's going to happen in the future. You know, at this moment, I don't know what's going to happen. My world is completely up in the air, and it's been in this place, this zone where it's forced me to be living in the moment. If I think about my future, because my future, it's literally, you have no idea. I have no idea where I'm going to go, but there's the sense of freedom as well, because I could go anywhere, I suppose. But any case, when I get into my logical mind at the moment, and they're making me the example, then it's going to feel really awful. Like you literally just want to leave this planet. You don't want to be here anymore. And then because your logical mind's trying to be in charge again, and that's going to feel so uncomfortable for whatever reason it is for you. If you go straight into your logical mind now being in charge, it'll be really, really uncomfortable. If you go into your balanced mind, bringing in your soul and your feeling and everything, and living in the moment, everything feels just right. It's like I'm supposed to be here. I can see my life from a higher frequency, and I can see all of the facets of the reason why I'm in this place, so that I can get used to the feel of my authentic self. So yeah, this is literally moving humanity into living in the moment more and more and more. It's squeezing us into that. So we can't predict through the logical mind only, looking outside ourselves, how that future is going to work. So we're not working from that reality anymore. We're working from our own feeling moving forward. Anyways, going back to the fact that there's a whole heap of crazy going on in the world. This is why it's happening, because look, they're showing me this atom speeding up, and it's Earth is south in humanity's consciousness. Sorry, but this is why it's happening, because we've got all these different dimensional spaces of people, like some clearing themselves out of it, some not, some still stuck in the mud, some, you know, and the ones that are stuck in the mud, if your reality is showing up as something that is like a flood or earthquake or something like that, then there's a moment there where it might be that it's bringing you into the moment of absolute, so that you can walk the path through the mess, out of it, and unscathed. They're bringing me to sometimes children, because they live in the moment. When they're in a car crash, they just walk out of that car crash and they're not hurt whatsoever, that sort of thing. And the reason why they're not, even though you look at it and go, what, how did you even survive that? I literally saw someone on the corner of a street that was sitting there with her hands in their head, and she seemed okay, but her car was so smashed up. I'm like, how did you survive that? Like, how did that, I mean, I'm sure I don't know, but she just seemed okay. I'm like, no way. And that's because when you're living in the moment, your life force will take you to what's necessary for you to get out of the mess. But you might see other people that are going into that logical mind trying to control their world, and they are getting whirled around like a great big tornado, and they'll just get tumbled and all that. And it's not until they find their central self that they can come into the center of that is around them and move away. You can do that with anything in your life that's coming at you, even if it is like an abusive partner or something. When you come into central self, you find your own empowerment. You know exactly what to say, where to go, who, with this person, how to release the attachment that they have pulled you into, with you giving that so much attention because you haven't found the power within you. And then you move into, it's like they're showing me all of this because that's how many lessons is going on at the moment in humanity's consciousness. Absolutely a massive amount of lessons going on in humanity's consciousness at the moment, of up-leveling, coming into living in the moment, finding true authentic self. And everything in reflection, everything that isn't so good in reflection, is giving you an opportunity to find that. So much going on. So we might see the world, even if it is from an observational point, is going a little bit crazy out there, and seeing some strange things happening. Or we might, it depends. It just depends on who you are and where you're going and what you're focusing in on. Please don't give those things that's why they bring programs up on the TV and they blast them out to people and go, look at this, this is terrible, this is terrible. They want you, they don't care about the actual thing. They want you to feel disempowered. They want you to be giving your attention into that problem. That problem, then it fuels the problem. Not only fuels the problem, because you're creating it through giving your attention to it. You're also getting entangled into that story, and so it becomes your reality as well. So that's the one thing I noticed. I can't say too much about health and stuff because it will be taken down, but if I just say CAN word, if you know where I'm going, that word, CANC, that word ended up, like at the beginning when I was growing up, never heard of it. When I was young, I'm 56 now. So when I was growing up, I never heard of it. And then as I was like, and no one had it. And then when I was in I think it was my 20s or something like that, the word started to pop up. And then they started to really throw those adverts out. Guys, focus on this, this is happening, rah, rah, rah. Everyone started to get it. I mean, we are literally creating our own world. They literally say things like support it. They say, they have big banners, support, CAN, blah, blah, blah. What? I actually walked past people decades, like 10 years ago, and go, I'm not supporting that. Like, I'll support healthy. I'll support a healthy body. And it's so interesting because the elder that I worked with, when she did this beautiful healing thing that was called Nawati, she said that the first thing you should get is cards with healthy organs on them, and then show the person the healthy organ, and then they can focus in on that, and that's reminding their cells in that organ where to go again. That it starts to, there's a lot more to it. There was a bit more to it than that, but that was one of the things that they did do. So you can see now why the powers to be will get us to focus in on something that's terrible over there. They just want us to feel, to be the creators of the problem. And so we create the problem by giving it the attention. because we are creative beings. They literally hijacked our imagination. They literally hijacked our imagination. So in schools, they told you not to imagine. They were going to implant the imagination into you. They were going to keep on implanting it into you. Don't use what you know from your soul and all your soul's lineage. Don't use all of that. Don't use all those feelings. Use what I'm telling you over here, because this is going to keep you contained. It's going to keep you normal. It's going to keep you like everyone else will like you because you look normal, all of that sort of stuff. And here we are with, like, for myself, my soul's come straight from Pleiades with all this other wisdom. And I was shut down. And then all that did was show me, where am I not standing up for myself? So now I stand up for myself and I say, this is who I am. I know this is who I am, 100%. I mean, when I was a kid, I had freaking Pleiadian UFO outside my window, and they telepathically said to me, and I was only 11, and I remember thinking, what the? They were like, yay, we found her, right at the same time as the whole Kaikoura thing was happening in New Zealand, where this news producer went in an airplane and actually found this UFO and was recording it, and it was on TV and everything. I've actually seen that plane for real that he was in, because they've actually made it a statue monument now. But at the same time as they were literally searching, they thought that they were searching for something. They even said that on the program, the TV program. I was in my bed and I had this orange light just outside my bedroom window, and it was just there. And I'm like, is that a traffic light? I looked up and went, no, that's too big and it's too far up. And then it was just, it was sitting there. It was like there was this information coming in. I didn't know any about telepathy or channeling or anything like that then, but I had this voice in my head going, yes, we've found you. And I remember thinking, who the heck's am I? And then after that, it just went and took off real quick, which freaked the bejeebers out of me. So I just stayed still in my bed, did not move. And I mean, for hours, I did not want to move. I felt like for hours, I don't know, probably an hour. Kids and timing, right? But it was to the point where I was sweating so badly. I just did not want to move. And a man entered, well, it was my father entered my room. My father never entered our bedroom ever. Before, after, during, any time I asked him, he never entered my room. It was not my father. He sat on my bed. He didn't say anything. He held my hand. He relaxed me. It was kind of like this feeling of a fatherly figure. And then he walked back out again. And I've had so many encounters since then. So I know I'm straight from Pleiades. Anyway, I diverse, right? But the reason why I'm diversing too is because those that are sent here specifically for a reason to help awaken humanity are going to start to shine. Their true authentic self is going to be exploded out for others to see. This is what they're telling me now. And those that were trying to be somebody to look good to the outside world are going to be showing up as well. It's a direct mirror. That's why there's 10 days of April happening that mirror date that's happening. We are going to show our authentic self as we are in these moments. Now, each and every one of us is source energy residing in this body anyway, going on a journey. So when you reach your authentic self, you are just as important and just as equal as each other. You just have a different storyline that you've gone on, that your soul's gone on, that you've transit into. And it's so friggin' important. It was so valid because you chose that line of story to go from that avatar, that body, to die and then go into another avatar. That's where your soul went, for source energy to be in that and feel through you how that all works, how that all collaborates into who you are right now. So there's not one of us that's more important than another. When you reach these higher frequencies, it doesn't matter if you're from Pleiades, doesn't matter if you've been life and life and life and caught in the matrix on Earth. It doesn't matter, because source energy wanted to have that experience. And there's good and bad in every experience that we have, and you know, there's tension and there's not. In every experience that we have, so that we grow. And not one of us is perfect either. So like, don't even try to get to the perfect stage. Anyways, so the reason why, let's come back to the title. The reason why there is so much crazy going on in the earth is because there's a massive shift happening at the moment energetically. And it's a direct reflection of that mirror that's coming back at us. And you won't get away. They won't get away with anything. And no one will get away with anything anymore, because if it's not what they feel within them, then it is not happening outside of them. And if you feel the truth that you are source energy within you, that's love going on a journey, you won't act inappropriately anymore. You won't want to control anything outside of you, because you know as soon as you do, it will backlash back. So that's the reason why. Okay, that was really intense. I felt that was pretty intense. I don't know about you guys, but lots of information there. Okay, I'm going for the cards. So I'm going to open up the chat bar for a couple of quick readings through these intense times for those that want a reading. Thanks, Celtic, for reminding people to hit the like button. Thanks, Lisa. Yeah, I stopped watching. They told me to stop watching TV. Oh, gosh. Back in 2005 or something, I think, or 6, I stopped. Somewhere around there anyway. Long time ago now. And also, though, I've realized that if I am in front of a program, say a TV, or you're in the doctor's office and there's a TV off, or the blah, blah, blah. I mean, if I find myself tuning into it, there's a reason. There's usually a reason. There's usually a message in it. So now it's at least my choice on whether I'm seeing my outside world as a message or not, right? Okay. Okay, Lisa. So we've got the Rebel card that's just come up for you. Okay, so they're taking a stand on who you are. This is an authentic person that's decided to take a stand on who they are. They're breaking the chains of what society tells them they should be, and they're lighting up their torch and saying, this is who I am. So it's literally you standing. They're telling me, though, that when you do it, just when you do stand in this authentic power of who you are, you don't need to be roaring like a fierce lion, and just remember that the quiet stillness of yourself is just as authentic a rebel as the roaring lion, depending on the situation. Excuse me. We watch travel videos, Lisa. Yeah, I binge watch Star Trek. I just keep going over and over the same Star Treks, and then I'll go from one to the other, because it takes me off this planet, brings me at least a little. It's not too violent or anything, but takes me off this planet. I wish that they'd make something else that's like that, because I love going off this planet. Probably because I come straight from Pleiades, right? Found Aussie here. Hey, Artemis. Okay, so Yannicka. Well, we had three that just kind of fell out, but it plopped out. I always take notice of how they fall. So we have participate, but it's in reverse. So this is working together, or maybe having a bit of a fear of working together with others and how that actually works. But when it comes from your authentic self, you should be able to say, when you get to the point where you can say no, have set boundaries and invite and say no, when you get to that point, then participation becomes a lot easier and uniting with others. It's literally our boundaries give us more freedom or scope to be able to check out other people, and so we're not like limiting ourselves anymore. So that's interesting message. You also came out with breakthrough, so you're breaking through this into realizing, and you're not clinging to the past anymore. The past was probably when you didn't have those boundaries up. So remember, each movement that you make as you do the shadow work, you'll release something that will then bring you into a better story. And so really release that. Don't keep thinking that it's going to come back, because you were in a totally different energy. You didn't have set boundaries in the past. Now you do have more boundaries, so you can open your heart up to a lot more, and understanding that that's how we can start to unite a lot more, instead of just hiding away in hermit stage. Okay, who else is here? Hey. I'll give a reading a shot, thanks. Artemis, okay. Artemis. I just like saying that, Artemis. Okay, so we've gone through once. My cards fell out for you. In other words, you probably know, but I'll keep going. Okay, it's interesting that you said I'll give it a shot as well. We've got a couple that's fallen out. So we've got two completely opposite kettles of the fish here. Whenever this happens to me, it always reminds me of the fact that you might be flipping from the intuitive thought or being more present in the moment, and then letting that logical mind dictate to you, be worried, be scared, be all that sort of stuff. Because we have going with the flow, which is just, going in the moment and living the story and trusting whatever's going to happen is going to happen, even though you don't know what's going to happen in the future anymore. And then we have suppression. So this is that logical mind sorry, it's the opposite side on me because it's a mirrored thing. The logical mind is like suppressing your like reality and saying, no, you have to do it this way, you have to do it that way, otherwise, and I can't see a future. Oh my God, how am I going to pick up all my sticks and make something out of this? And reality saying, like, keep going with the flow, just keep living in the present moment. It's all going to work out for you in the end. Who else have we got here? So we have Mark. We've got the fruit is ready to pick. So there's some sort of gift that's like ripened and ready to move into something that you want to bring into, maybe something that you've been working on that's ready to put out to the world, or ready to take the next step now, or even within yourself, and understanding that you become new. There's something new within you, and you're stepping out into the world as this new kind of, this is who I am now, something like that. These are only little quick readings. Yeah. Sky. Sky, you have receptivity. So they're asking you to show that I've got this feeling of not being afraid to listen more to your, there's more messages coming through, and not being afraid for, there's like I feel like there's an expansion of information wanting to come through, and you're it's almost like you're protecting yourself a little bit from it in case it becomes overwhelming. But they want you to be more freer with that, so that it becomes integrated into your reality more as you go along your daily business and stuff like that. That's like, don't shut down the antenna when you're in certain places. Keep it open at all costs. At all costs. Yeah, at all costs, what they're saying. So. Who else have we got? Lisa. So I just started doing in-person fire ceremonies, teaching people how to release. It's just peaceful. Oh, that's so, yeah, because I saw this fire, but then I saw this energy of being pulled back to, yeah, anyway. Who else have we got here? And I got Celtic. Okay, Celtic. Seer. Celtic Seer, Celtic Seer. I just got this message of put on your put on your business mind. Like put on, like, I literally saw you get the want you to, how would I put that? I can't find the word for it. Let me see if it comes out on the card. Like, it wasn't assertiveness. It was like, put on a, it's not like a business hat. It was like, I am, I can't think of that word. Okay, cards, you speak to me. Well, one flipped out really cool then. I got the slowing down card. Now that and this, there was this message of you stepping into a new role. Okay, now I get it. Okay, radio. So, yeah, you got the slowing down card so that you can actually step into this more assertive role, like a role that's really like assertive, and you know who you are now. Professionalism within the spiritual context of who you are. Something like that, yeah. Okay, that was for Celtic. How we got next? Okay, auto detective Campbell. Oh, okay. Okay, just got this really overwhelming message then, and then that flew out. So you got the tuning in card. What there's something where your location is. I actually felt this. This is so interesting because I felt this because I actually saw one of your photos that were on Facebook that you were actually over somewhere else. There's something around you that is a vortex. And really interesting to note, they want you to tune in so that you could actually feel something on the land. Energy, a higher frequency energy where if you feel it, you could sit there, tune in, and you will tune into even more. They're showing me this, it's like you hold something and it's got like a little stick thing and it will rotate, kind of like a finding water thing, but this was more of an energy thing, finding energy portals or something. And you have that within your pineal gland, within who you are, but there's this thing that can show you that you can actually hold like a stick. You could actually pick up a stick and have, those sticks that have the trying to find water thing, and it will still kind of vibrate more in this location. There's a location around you that they're wanting you to tune into. That's so interesting. Okay. Kryon now. Okay. So yeah, I don't know whether it's the land that you're on or something, or on your journey, or coming up, or just past, or there's something on the journey where you can tune into the land more, and you will find in those different spots or different areas just on Earth sitting down, more information coming through. Sorry, I'm going on about it, but it's just really strong. So I'm just going to have to say it as it is. Debbie. Well, that just kind of slowly fell out for you. Look how beautiful this one is that just popped out. New visions. So you're actually moving into higher frequencies at the moment. A new way of looking. It's going to come from within you and how you feel about yourself. And that is going to spark this whole new way of how you actually perceive the world. That you actually have more capability of navigating the right path for you as you move along. You're welcome, Otto Campbell. I say Campbell. Debbie. And then we have Flower Lioness. Yeah, so if you want a one-on-one reading with me, I do Zoom calls, one-on-ones, so you can book them. The link is down below. Flower. Okay, we had, see it, they flipped out in the card and went back into the pack. So we've got 3 that's flipped out. We have the Thunderbolt. So a tower moment, something's going to crumble away from you. It doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing. It's just that something's crumbling away from you that you need to let go of. It's time to let go of it. If you hang on to the tower, then you end up crumbling with it, and it's not going to feel good. This whole reason for this is because that what you've gone through was healing a past life problem. And so that past life problem that you had is now, I feel like it's fixed enough for you to let go of the situation so that you can move in to creating what your soul truly wants to create. Yeah. Thank you, Celtic. You're such an awesome, I love you in that chat bar. Kudos to you. Thank you so much for all your help. I'm really grateful for that too. Okay, using dowsing rods. Mark, I'm using dowsing rods. I love the energy which flows through them. Obviously, one of my permissions. That's nice, Mark. Dowsing rods. Yeah. Okay. I think we will leave it. Yeah, it's an hour's past, so we will leave it here. Don't forget, I have those awesome spiritual masterclasses coming up, and the first one will be free because it is learning how to control the mind. A lot of people in my chat bar would already know all of that, a lot of that information, but that's why I decided to put it out for free. But as we progress along in the masterclasses, we come into bringing in our imagination and everything, but we also go into the pineal gland and learning how to be telepathic and channeling, and lots of channel messages, lots of cool advice, even more advice through those new lessons that are coming. So it's really exciting stuff. Thanks, everybody, for being part of this broadcast, and I will see you on Thursday. We will do another big question and see what else comes up. At the moment, I'm not doing in-between videos much because my computer is totally chock-a-block full, and I have no room to create some other video because of the lessons that masterclass lessons that I'm working on at the moment. It keeps shutting me down actually all weekend, so I'm going to have to figure out another way of doing that. Love you guys though, heaps. Until next time, bye.